Hey guys, Vernon here from DocSports.com for Monday, October 13th, 2025. Going to get to the Croy's NHL report here in just a moment. It will include 9 free NHL picks for Monday night. First of all, give the video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button below as we do several free pick videos for you every single day right here on the Doc Sports YouTube channel. Now, Doc Sports has been around for 53 years. I've been doing this professionally for the last 26 years. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button right now. Now, at the time of shooting this video, I'm currently on a 19-9 NFL run. I have one more football play going Sunday night at the time of shooting this video. I also have a 6-unit NFL play going Monday. Make sure that you get the picks right here exclusively at DocSports.com. That's right, 19-9 NFL run, actually 19-9 on the NFL season overall. That's right, 5 plays per week, 19-9. I have 1 play pending Sunday night. It's my 7-unit Sunday night football play, and then I have a 6-unit Monday night football play. Get the picks right here exclusively at DocSports.com. I'll also have a top NHL play going Monday night that I absolutely love. You can get the pick right here exclusively at DocSports.com. Now let's get to the Croy's NHL report for Monday, October 13th, 2025. Your first matchup is between the Colorado Avalanche and Buffalo Sabres. Now, obviously, Colorado is the superior team. They should be heavily favored in this game. They are, minus 160. It's still a good enough value for me to play. They are coming off a 4-5 shootout loss against Dallas. Before that, they beat Utah. Before that, they went into LA and beat LA 4-1. Colorado is a Stanley Cup contending team. Buffalo is not yet. Buffalo is still trying to make the playoffs. I believe that Buffalo will make the playoffs this season, however, but they won't do anything in the playoffs for sure. Buffalo is coming off back-to-back losses, 4-0 rout against the Rangers, and a 3-1 loss at Boston. I like Colorado a lot in this spot. This is an early start. That doesn't affect me in this. We're taking the Colorado Avalanche on the money line, minus 160 over the Buffalo Sabres. Your next matchup, your next matchup is between the Nashville Predators and Ottawa Senators. Nashville is currently a big underdog, plus 145. Rightfully so, I believe, especially in Ottawa. Ottawa's favored minus 175. Head-to-head, Ottawa has won 3 out of the last 4 games when playing Nashville. Nashville is coming off a 2-3 overtime loss against Utah. That was in Nashville. They haven't played a road game yet this season. This is their first road game of the season. They did open the season with a 2-1 victory against Columbus. Now, Ottawa opened the season on the road. They had to play a very good Tampa Bay team. They won that game in overtime, and then obviously they played the defending Stanley Cup champions at Florida. They lost that game 6-2, so this is also a big bounce back spot for Ottawa. Ottawa's the superior team. There is no value with them on the money line, however, though, so we will take the Ottawa Senators on the puck line, minus 1.5, plus 145 over the Nashville Predators. Your next matchup is between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Boston Bruins. I really feel like Tampa Bay is the superior team in this matchup, and that's why they're heavily favored on the road. They're favored minus 160 on the road. Boston's plus 135 at home. Tampa Bay is basically coming off back-to-back losses to start the season. They just lost in overtime to start the season against Ottawa, which I just told you about. And then they lost 3-5 against the Devils in their last game. So they also come into this game very hungry. Boston has won 3 straight games to start the season. However, 2 of those games were against kind of bad teams, Chicago and Buffalo. They did start on the road against Washington. They put up a 3-1 victory there. I do expect Tampa Bay to get the victory here. We're taking the Tampa Bay Lightning on the money line, minus 160. Actually, we can get minus 155 against the Boston Bruins. Your next matchup is between the Winnipeg Jets and New York Islanders. The Islanders are coming off a loss. This is a Winnipeg team that I believe is the superior team coming into this matchup. However, the Islanders are 8-2 in their last 10 games against Winnipeg. They've owned Winnipeg in the past. Winnipeg is coming off a 3-2 victory at home against Los Angeles. This is Winnipeg's first road game of the season. Islanders come into this game hungry. They're looking for their first victory of the season. They lost their first game of the season at Pittsburgh 3-4, very close game. And then they lost against Washington 2-4. And their only 2 goals came on the power play in that loss. Winnipeg is the better overall team. This is their first road game, though. I do like the value with the New York Islanders, and that's why they're slight underdogs here. We can get the New York Islanders on the money line, plus 110 over the Winnipeg Jets. Your next matchup is between the Detroit Red Wings and Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, obviously, these two teams just played Saturday night, and Detroit came away with the victory. Toronto went up 2-0 in that game, and then Detroit basically came back, put up, I believe, here, let me check. I think it was three unanswered goals, and then Toronto scored 1 to tie it. Detroit won that game 6-3. Toronto's heavily favored in this game. Toronto is the superior team. I believe that they will bounce back against Detroit. This time, they're not letting the gas off. I do like Toronto a lot. Stoli actually played lights out in that game. The score is very misleading. They broke down defensively big time. Stoli kept them in that game. Stoli definitely was not to blame for that loss, even though he did allow a lot of goals. It wasn't his fault at all. He had absolutely no help. I expect Toronto to turn it on here. It's the afternoon game starting at 2:07. There's no value of Toronto, though, on the money line, so we're taking the Toronto Maple Leafs on the puck line, -1.5, plus 130 over the Detroit Red Wings. Your next matchup is between the New Jersey Devils and Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, New Jersey is coming off an upset victory against Tampa Bay. I do like Columbus a lot in this spot. I did give you Columbus in their last game. They pulled off the upset against Minnesota. We were getting tremendous value there because Minnesota blew out St. Louis 5-0 in their previous game. Columbus won that game 7-4. It's a nice little underdog. I gave you them plus 140. I do like Columbus at home in this spot. We're taking the Columbus Blue Jackets on the money line, plus 110 over the New Jersey Devils. Your next matchup is between the Florida Panthers and Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, this is a hobbled Florida team, but it's also a plug-and-play Florida team. It doesn't matter who you pop in that lineup, they perform. That's why they're Stanley Cup champs back-to-back. Philadelphia, I'm not sold on at all this season. Currently, Florida's favored -140. -140 is the lowest. It goes as high as -150. Florida is the superior team here. I'm definitely not sold on this Flyers team. Obviously, Florida's battling some key injuries. I understand that. Florida has won 4 of their last 5 games against the Flyers. They haven't lost yet this season. They've won 3 straight against Chicago, this Philadelphia team, and Ottawa. Now, against Philadelphia, they won that game 2-1. Philadelphia is coming off 3-4 overtime loss against a very good Carolina team at Carolina. Yeah, they played every team close so far this season. Both 1-goal losses at Florida and at Carolina. Florida is the superior team, though. We're taking the Florida Panthers on the money line, -140 against the Philadelphia Flyers. Your next matchup is between the St. Louis Blues and Vancouver Canucks. I also gave you St. Louis in their last game. I told you that they would bounce back after that 5-0 rout against Minnesota. They did just that. Let me pull up the stats here. St. Louis has won 4 of their last 5 games against Vancouver. They are coming off a dominant victory against Calgary. Calgary's not a good team. They won that game 4-2. St. Louis's power play has really struggled so far this season. They're 1-6 with the extra man on the power play. Vancouver is coming off a 2-goal loss at Edmonton. They gave up 3 goals in that loss. They had only 15 shots on goal in that loss. They allowed Edmonton 36 shots on goal. Previously, their previous game prior to that, they beat Calgary 5-1. They were heavily favored in that game, rightfully so. That game was at home. I do like the St. Louis Blues as an underdog in this spot. I believe that they do have the superior goaltender. We're taking the St. Louis Blues on the money line, plus 110 over the Vancouver Canucks. Now, your 9th and final NHL game for Monday, October 13th, 2025 is between the Utah and Chicago. Utah is currently heavily favored in this game. The line opened minus 140. It shot up to minus 160, minus 165. I expect Chicago to show up in this game. Chicago actually has more talent this season than last season. I expect them to have a much better season. Utah is coming off a 3-2 overtime victory against Nashville at Nashville. This is their 3rd straight road game. They lost their first game 1-2 against a very good Colorado team. Nashville's not a good team. Chicago is looking for their first victory of the season. They've dropped 3 straight. They come into this game really hungry at home. They played 3 great teams to start the season. Chicago has at Florida, at Boston, and against a very good Montreal team, losing all those games by just 1 goal. I like the value of the Chicago Blackhawks. We're taking the Chicago Blackhawks on the money line, plus 135 over the Utah. Now make sure that you post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the ice report, the rink report for Monday. Thanks a lot for your time as always. In winning, Vernon Croy.